those are how relationships are built through memories and through those events we've had together, whether it's fishing trip we went on or whitewater rafting or a gala we had at the top of a building in Boston. Those are the kind of things that people remember. And I think that's what builds those deep relationships. So I appreciate you mentioning that. We do work hard to make sure that we keep it fun and interesting and the kind of thing that people want to bring their spouses to.
There are opportunities for our work and careers everywhere, if you know where to look. That's easier said than done, especially in our fast-paced and constantly changing world. Ann Faremouth is talking to experts, employers, and job seekers to bring you insight and understanding about what's possible. This is Career Can Do, where we're navigating the new work world.
Welcome to the Career Can Do podcast, a podcast dedicated to helping you navigate the new work world. My name is Ann Faremouth. I'm a corporate trainer, executive recruiter, multi-genre author, and nationally syndicated columnist. And today I'm just delighted to have a person on this show that I have the utmost respect and admiration for. Susannah Porr is the executive director of an organization by the name of NASPD. This organization is a national trade association representing the steel, pipe, and tubular products distribution industry and its related businesses. Member companies enjoyed a wide variety of benefits, such as professional services, conferences and conventions, seminars and workshops, and industry publication. And I have to say, I am proud to be a member of this organization. It has greatly expanded my business. And I wanted to have Susannah on the show just to expand awareness so that people know about it and can also benefit from it. So after that incredibly long introduction, without further ado, help me welcome Susannah Porr. Susannah, say hello to everybody.
Hello. Thanks for having me. And we're proud to have you as a member of our organization.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, I've been a member of this, maybe over 10 years now, and it's just a great organization. It's expanded my business and my platform significantly. And Susannah, tell our listeners out there, how did the NASPD get started and how did you get involved with it?
Yeah. Well, gosh, back in 1975, Pete Knowles and Jerry Rubenstein brought a group of industry leaders in from all over the country, and they recognized the importance of getting to know their colleagues and their competitors. So many deals were being done with a handshake and, knowing somebody's reputation and knowing that you could trust them to pay their bills on time and to honor their agreements was really important. And I think it served as sort of a positive peer pressure kind of situation. So when people knew they would come to these meetings, meet other members, they knew there's a code of ethics with the NASPD. And if somebody's not honoring their obligations, people would hear about it. And so it really ended up being sort of a great way for people to meet new people, establish new business relationships, but know that they could trust the people they're doing business with.
Well, I certainly can vouch for that and substantiate what you're saying, because I certainly think, as I said, that it helps the members quite a bit, and it certainly has helped me. But the other thing I've always really enjoyed were different conferences that you have and the speakers that you have there. I think it gives all of us members a new perspective or gives us some new insight into the industry and what's going on. So tell us about the conferences, how many you have per year, and about the next one.
Yeah, so we have 3 conferences a year. We scatter them all over the U.S. In the past, we've had some in Mexico and Canada. We bring in experts from all different perspectives, including some members. We'll have member panels periodically. What I hear most from members is most of our members are in a very specific segment of the industry in a specific geographic area. So what they see on a day-to-day basis may be very different from somebody on an opposite coast or in another country or in another segment of the industry. But taking the broader perspective and understanding what's happening in the industry overall really helps our members understand what's going to be coming down the pipeline, no pun intended, down the road. And if they're, again, I've heard this over and over from members, if they're chained to their desk and just head down doing what they do day to day, they're going to miss the bigger picture. I think it really is a benefit for people to understand, when you're buying significant inventories, knowing, what to expect in 6 months or 12 months is essential. So we have the 3 conferences. We address everything from economic issues, employment, trucking, you name it. So we really try to bring those issues that our members are going to be facing in the near future and help them understand them better.
Well, again, I'm a member and I've been to the conferences, and I have to say, as an executive recruiter, I meet candidates sometimes that are looking, or I meet clients that are looking to hire people. So it certainly gives me advantage to be more of a recruiter in national areas, different areas. And I think that that's definitely the advantage. And as you say, the ethics, the quality of people that are a member of this organization, I think also is a real advantage, because you do have people you can talk to about somebody here. And, when you're dealing with a member company or a candidate, that they're a little bit of a cut above. And the other thing that I think is so great that you offer at NASPD, Susannah, is that you offer educational programs for the members. I know I was at a networking event, a happy hour event not long ago, and several of the people that were there were just coming out of educational conference. So tell us a little bit about that, because I think that's something that's certainly an advantage. And there's a learning aspect here too, that's part of the organization.
Yeah, some of the larger mills, they can afford to build their own curriculum to educate their employees, but most of our members don't have that kind of staff or ability to develop that. So this is a member benefit, and we believe not only does it help our members individually, but it helps the industry as a whole. So we even have Corps of Engineers will come and learn more about the industry. We'll have people who buy pipe who want to understand better what they're asking for. It makes them a better customer and allows both the distributor and their customer to know that they're getting the product they need for its purpose. We have a basic education course, which is a 2-day course we teach in Houston each year in October. The next course is October 23rd through the 24th for the basic education course. And then the third day is an OCTG specialty course. So the basic course includes OCTG as well, but the third day is a separate course that goes a lot deeper into it. And we've had everybody from secretaries to new hires to people who've been in the industry for 10 years take this course and talk about how much they learned. A lot of times people, again, are in a very specific segment of the steel industry. And so they may know spiral weld inside and out, but they're not familiar with other aspects of the industry. So this is really sort of a drink from the hot fire hose kind of course, but it gives people better understanding of everything from how to load pipe to metallurgy. You're not going to be a metallurgist when you get out of this, but you're going to know the terminology enough and be able to understand where, if you're filling an order, you want to know when you need to ask somebody who has more knowledge in something. So, you may get to a point where I got to go to my metallurgist on this, or I need to get a specialist to answer this question because they're asking me if this product can do something and I'm not certain that it can. And I sure as heck don't want to have a lawsuit on my hands. So we really address the importance of placing an order correctly, making sure you have all the information in there, because God forbid, if a product is not suitable for its use and lawsuits come involved, you don't want to be on the wrong side of that. So it gives just enough information for people to understand how things can go wrong and how to make sure they avoid that. So that's the education course. We also have a new program, leadership development program, and it's an opportunity for, again, companies to identify those people in their industry who they would like to, or their business, they would like to lead in their business in the future. Most of these companies don't have a formal leadership development program within their company. So this allows us to help them develop their employees in a way that serves them. And it also serves the industry as a whole. It serves the NASPD when these individuals are able to step into leadership roles like, being a committee chair or on our board of directors. It's a great way for us to develop the professionalism of our industry while serving our members at the same time.
Well, I agree. I think it's wonderful. And as an executive recruiter on this side of the desk, when I have a candidate come to me and they tell me they've been involved in an educational program like this with a company like NASPD, that makes me want to send them on an interview all the more, because that tells me that they're going the extra mile. And these days, Susannah, as you know, or you can imagine, everybody that wants to hire is looking at everything under a microscope, all right? Because they want to make sure they're making a good investment and they're going to hire someone on their team that's going to make a contribution. So when we have candidates that go to events like the one Susannah's talking about, these educational programs they offer. And now, of course, the leadership, which I think is outstanding. It gives the employees an advantage. It helps them represent their companies even better because they can go out to their customers and talk more intelligently. But also, it shows the members of the community, the members of the industry, that we have someone that's going to go the extra mile. And I think that right now everybody's looking for that. Pre-COVID, it was, look how wonderful I am. I'm top of my class. I've got this great MBA. I've got this and that. That doesn't cut it anymore as much. What people want to hear now is, what are you doing extra? What are you doing to go the extra mile? That's the person that's going to get hired. And so if you have an individual that's participated in these kinds of events that Susannah's talking about, I think it gives the companies, the candidates, the prospective employers an advantage. So I think that's great. Now, Susannah, is this organization just for the U.S. or does it span into the international markets as well?
Originally, it was founded as, obviously in its name, the National Association of Steel Pipe Distributors, but no, it's gone international for years now, really. And we've kind of talked about whether we need to rename ourselves, but we've got members all over Asia, Europe, South Africa, really broad group of member companies and countries represented in the organization.
Yeah, that's great. And I thought so because I've been to so many of the functions and I've met people from really all over the world. And I think that, our industry is such a multi-genre, multinational, international kind of an industry. And I think if we have an organization we can all belong to that offers us those networking abilities, I think it also gives our prospective companies out there an advantage to expand their platform and expand their businesses. So I've been a member for a long time. I've met wonderful people here. I've placed so many candidates with the companies that I meet. And so I just think it's a great organization. The other thing I think, too, that I've learned as a recruiter is that sometimes it's not what you know, it's who you know. And I think the people that you can meet at an organization like NASPD can advance your career so much. Because if you meet someone, and the other great thing I don't think we've touched upon here is they have wonderful social events. All day long, we go to these seminars, we're in these great conferences, we're hearing these great speakers. But then in the evening, they put on this wonderful social event. Sometimes they have all different kinds of people at these events. But from the social event, people are meeting other people and kind of befriending different people. And I think that it's nice. I mean, they have a first-class dinner, all kind of good food to eat and desserts to eat. Sometimes there's entertainment. And I just think the organization goes the extra mile. Tell us a little bit about that. I mean, those social events, don't you think that, I'm sure you've heard a lot of feedback from the members about those. Don't you think those add a special touch, Susannah?
There's no doubt about it. I mean, people want to be there. They need to want to be there and they need to enjoy themselves. And I think there's also a side benefit. When people start to get to know each other's spouses, we have a nice event where somebody wants to bring their spouse, their families are getting to know each other. Those are the kinds of business relationships that get really deep and significant. And that's the kind of relationship that matters. When COVID happened and people weren't able to find supply, the supply chain was faltering and people were really needing to rely on each other to take care of each other, those relationships really were solid. And I think relationships that were strictly on business and contracts don't have that same kind of depth. So I think the social events have been phenomenal. And, a comment I get from a lot of our speakers, they all say, feels like such a family environment. And I really appreciate that kind of compliment because we've worked hard to make sure we're building those relationships where people feel like it's a second family. Inevitably, at any conference, you hear people talk about, remember when we were in Mexico, remember when we went to New York. And, those are how relationships are built through memories and through those events we've had together, whether it's fishing trip we went on or whitewater rafting or a gala we had at the top of a building in Boston. Those are the kind of things that people remember. And I think that's what builds those deep relationships. So I appreciate you mentioning that. We do work hard to make sure that we keep it fun and interesting and the kind of thing that people want to bring their spouses to.
That touches upon something else too on my side of the desk. And that is with our new generational sectors these days, they're looking for different things in a job. And the human element is front and center with a lot of these people. And to belong to an organization like the NASPD that really looks upon that human element as an important one, I think that only can help companies become more successful because people these days are looking for different things. I mean, I'm a baby boomer, all right? I'm proud of it, but I'm a baby boomer. But, back in our day, it was you go to work, you come home, and that was it. But nowadays, it's not like that. All right. It's like, where's my quality of life? And if I belong to a company that's a member of NASPD, and part of my job is that I get to go to these cool conferences where I can meet other people. I mean, wow, that's where I want to be, right? That's where these people want to be. If you've got something that's available to you that's going to help you entice the candidates right now, you need to look into it. Let me tell you why also. We have a talent shortage right now, all right? After World War II and all those soldiers came back from the war, we had a surge in population, but we've never had one since that time. And for every baby boomer that retires, you have one person experienced available. Well, what happens? You have a gap. So we got all these jobs right now, but we don't have enough people. So these companies that are members of organizations like NASPD that are offering their members, that are mainly a lot of them right now, different generational sectors, they have two offers, and one might be a member of NASPD and the other one isn't. Guess where they're probably going to go? Okay. So there's advantages for the work world for these times to belong to an organization like NASPD. So, Susannah, if we had someone out there that was interested after they hear this podcast to check into it and think about, learn more about it or become a member, how would they do that? How do they get a hold of you?
So you can go to our website at naspd.com. You can call us at 361-574-7878, or you can email us at info at naspd.com.
Okay, great. And I have to say, I was at the last conference. It was in Chicago, and I met a guy that I placed with a company. I think I placed him 14 years ago. And I was so happy to see that he was with the same company. And I said to him, I'm so happy. My claim to fame is longevity. I love to place people that are going to stay a long time. And I said, for my other clients out there that are having a problem with turnover, tell me what the company that I placed you with offers you that wants you to stay. He said, well, management cares about us. They don't tell us what to do. They tell us why we're doing it. But also, Marianne, if I can come to an organization like this 3 times a year, all right, and bring my wife, it's a great company to be with because they are a member of NASPD. So I'm sitting here on my side of the desk, all right, in a different capacity that some of my members are from NASPD. But I'm seeing why having your organization a member of this might really increase your longevity of your candidate. Because right now, as I'm saying, I can't stress enough, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but this human element is really, really important. And organizations like NASPD offer that. So we're getting near the end here. You can tell I'm a big believer in organizations like this. Susannah has always been very helpful to me. When I have an example, if I have a client in another city, I do have the member list. And I'll call Susannah and say, well, do you know of anyone who's gotten laid off or anybody who's might look, be looking over here in Chicago or Mississippi or Missouri? She's always so helpful to refer that person to me. So there's also a personal element here. And I think you do that so well, Susannah, and I really appreciate that. But we're getting near the end here. And if we had to give our listeners out there 2 important benefits, let me digress here. First of all, is it this organization mainly for companies? Is that right? An individual entrepreneur, maybe that's starting a business, can they be a member too? Or do they have to be a large company?
So it doesn't have to be a large company, but it does have to be a company. If they're applying for regular membership, they need to be a stocking distributor with over 500 tons of inventory at any given time. They could be a mill, which obviously would be a large company by nature. And we also have smaller companies that are support companies. So everything from trucking services to accounting services, and like yours, a company that would support steel pipe distributors. So those are our membership categories.
Okay, good. And if somebody's on the fence right now, all right, about, do you think I should really think about being a member? What are the 2 important benefits you can share with our listeners that would come along with being an NASPD member?
Well, first thing I would suggest is come to one of our meetings. All non-members can attend one meeting. It's a great way to see what we're doing, see what we're all about, hear from industry experts. And, I feel confident when people come to our meetings, they're going to see the benefit right away. But I would say my tip would be invest in your industry and invest in your people. Side story about our leadership program, we were noticing that only the business owners were coming. And we knew they had people that they had mind to take over their businesses in the future. And we asked them, why aren't you bringing them to these meetings? And the general consensus was they were afraid that if they brought these individuals to our conferences, that somebody else would steal them away. And so that's when we developed the leadership program. We're like, hey, we need to bridge the gap from this generation to the next. And we want you to bring these individuals and trust that they're going to, just like you said before, they're going to honor their work with you. They're going to honor the fact that you are trusting them to invest in them in this way. And what we've seen is that the loyalty of those individuals is so much stronger because the company was bringing them to these conferences. And the side benefit, which we didn't really, I don't know that we even foresaw this yet, but what our members have told us since then is that now these individuals are networking within the industry in a way that they weren't able to when they were chained to their desk at the office. So now they're seeing that this investment in their employee has paid off in so many different ways. One, they've got the leadership tools they need to eventually run that company. But two, they're connected and loyal to that company because they were believed in, they were invested in, and now they're networking in a way that they need to be to really take that company to the next level. So I would encourage anybody considering membership in the NASPD is really understand the value of investing in your business, investing in the industry as a whole, and invest in your people.
Well, I think that is exactly right on the money, exactly right. I've been in this job over 30 years and I've seen a lot of changes, but I think even now more than ever, being a member of an association like this is critical. It's not really something you should consider. It's just something you should definitely do because you're going to get so much out of it. All right. And more than anything, life, in my opinion, is about relationships. People always don't buy from someone that necessarily has the very best product or the cheapest price. They're going to buy from someone they know and they trust. And being in an organization like NASPD gives you that advantage. Again, I am thrilled today that Susannah took time to be on Career Can Do. I'll have all her information on my website, faremouth.com. And one more time, Susannah, tell us the name of that website.
NASPD.com.
Okay, great. All right. Well, we appreciate you being with us today. I want to thank all the listeners out there. We'll see you all next time. Bye-bye. Thank you, Susannah.
Thanks, Marianne.
We thank you for tuning in to our Career Can Do podcast. We make no guarantees on results for your particular quest, but we hope you enjoy the information presented. The views and opinions expressed in this program are solely that of the guest or speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of Mary Ann Faremouth and Faremouth and Company. Thank you.